Alright, is this thing going? Let's wait for this to start up. This is Dave again. This is the second virtual co-working push of the day. Doing another test with this headset. This is a Sennheiser Game 1. Trying to determine if I'm going to keep it or return it. The audio quality is, for listening, is pretty good. But the microphone itself, people have told me it doesn't sound good. But I actually think it's because my PC audio input, which is just the motherboard input, isn't up to the task of it's got a bad mic preamp or something like that. Oh, the cat is here. But plugged into the Macintosh, it seems fine. It only goes up to 16 kilohertz sampling rate, but that's adequate for voice level talking. It's not for recording music or something like that, but I think it's maybe fine for this. What's this? Some sort of Firefox update. Kitty. Cat is here. It's a little dark in here. So anyway, what am I working on today? I'm working on JavaScript stuff. And did I just screw this up again? And so what I'm doing is essentially continuing to document some old systems that I'd written a while ago. It's complicated enough. It's got like 5 or 6 different moving parts all speaking to each other. And while it works, I never really narrowed it down to a really good and clean implementation. So I'm working through my understanding of it. This is super boring. I did an hour of this earlier, just today, and like at the end of it, I felt like so dead. So I need to change glasses, otherwise I'm gonna get a headache. I wonder if I should turn on some lights. It is a little bit dark in here. Let's see, where's my phone? It's my phone. Let me just show something else. I'm getting the rest of the stuff going. Let me switch to the screen view. So this is what I'm working on right now. I'll go full screen. So on the left side here, I am also testing out a design program called Affinity Designer as a possible replacement for Illustrator. And I do all my form design in Illustrator, so I'm quite used to it now. But I've never really loved it. Um, and there's lots of little things that have gotten me to the point in which I'm just kind of going, you know what? Like, if I could get away from this program, I would totally do it. So I'm just using this simply as as a text layout tool. This text over here is stuff like this. These are the names of the modules that I need to support. So these are all the moving parts, let's say. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The cat, damn it, cat. Get away! No! Cat's switching scenes. Where was I? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 different pieces of this system talking together to implement a recording feature in which it records what's going on in this simulation that we're doing, and saves video and saves simulation data, so it can be played back and jumped to. For I feel bad about not giving the kitty more attention. He just hears me talking, assumes that I'm talking about him. Right, sweetie? Well, so it's a little dark here, so I'm going to press the party button on this. It's a little bit better. Hopefully it doesn't give me some sort of seizure. Ooh. All right, so more festive. Are they all on? I guess so. Let's see. What am I going to do now? Let me make a note of the start time. I guess I should really turn on another light. But then I would have to get up and take these headphones off. Maybe what I can do is, this might be, actually I'm not sure if these are introducing any lag. I haven't delayed them. So let me make some adjustments here. Oops, I can't switch to that. Let's go back over here. So this is the OBS screen I'm looking at right now, and I'm going to go to these settings. Where's the built-in mixer settings? Settings, audio. There's a mixer somewhere. Where did it go? come I can't find it now? Am I blind? I don't think it's advanced audio. Okay, this is what I want. There needs to be another way of getting there. So there's a delay that I need to usually add. So I know for this mixer it's about 300. For this it might be. Let me check over here on the. That's weird. It's asking me to log in on the other screen here. I guess that's today is update your credentials day. That's fucking. I'm annoyed by computers these days. Getting old, turning into an old man. I don't like these new style dialogues. I would show you, but I don't want to show you my passwords. What? Oh, Google Authenticator. Stupid, 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 stupid. Computers are stupid. It keeps logging me out. What was going on? That's not even where I was before. Everything's pissing me off today. Is this even... Oh, this is Firefox. Firefox updated itself and then popped itself up. I'm annoyed. And then it popped itself up full screen. So let's see. This is interesting. Alright, so I'm looking at... I'm going to take a look over here. Let me switch the scenes here. Let me go to this camera view. So what I'm looking at... Oh, here's already a problem. I'm just looking at this is where I'm monitoring. I don't hear anything. Did I lose audio? So I'm looking at to see if my voice is synchronized with the video. So let me do this. Test, 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 test. It's about a 15-second delay. Let's see if I can see anything. I am so pudgy. So in a moment I should see something. Test, 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 test. There's a slight lag in the video. I would say it's like on the order of 200 milliseconds. So let me do that. Advanced audio processing. Maybe that should be 250. So this is a quarter of a second. I think it's actually less than that. Alright, so I've just fixed the lag and hopefully this is a little bit better. But enough screwing around. Time to do some work. I'm not really excited by this if you can't tell. Alright, so where we last left off was over here on this part. Let me fix my accessibility settings here. I can never tell what these icons are. I think this is accessibility. So the accessibility is the zoom. Every time I unplug the computer, it forgets where it should be. Another tiny inconvenience. Done. Close. So now if I go back to that screen I was on, I can do this. I can actually zoom in and you can see it bigger. So this screen down here, this is where I was running I'm getting a headache looking at this. This is what happens when you press the recording button. It goes through and does all these things. And this is not even complete yet. I haven't even done the stop recording part. So I'm going to do that trace now as well. And what time is it now? I'm starting this at, it's 11:04, let's call it 11 p.m. start. And I'll make sure I enter this into my timesheet later. So, what am I doing? I guess stop recording. Well, I guess we'll find the stop session button. Later, close it. I don't think I'm running any. Well, maybe I am running a browser. I'm running this too. Let me go and over here. For some reason, this isn't running. I need to pull up a terminal window. Yes, I want to terminate this. Okay, so the terminal window corner is there. I could put this off screen now. So this terminal window is, we need to go dev. We need to go to this directory, and then to the build directory, and then we need to run the task runner. Actually make this do something. And while this thing is spinning up, then I will be able to go to localhost on this browser window. It's still running. Looking at the lower left corner, you can see it's copying assets. It's launching the server now, and it's telling me what I need to do to launch this. So, you know, that blinking lights are kind of a problem. Leave one of them on. Maybe that one's alright. I can actually walk over here and turn this on. Duh. Alright, that's a little bit brighter. Maybe even too bright. So I'm running this. Let me pull up the JavaScript console window. Let me run particles. And then let me run also particles teacher, which is here. This UI doesn't resize right, so I am looking at start recording and stop recording. So I click this button, all this stuff that's here happens. And I'm going to go through that later and sort it out and find out where the system functional groupings are. And then I'll annotate it here on the left side. But when I stop recording, I actually already know where this goes. The way this is done is like this. The cat just fell off the table. You should be embarrassed. Are you not embarrassed? The cat's not jumping up this way. So, start recording. This gets called by the teacher app, Common Controls Record Button JSX. It calls on recording click. So it should still have this in here someplace. Record button. It calls something that's called toggle record button, which is a terrible name because I don't think this always toggles. It's assuming that you can just toggle record or toggle off, but there's actually usually more logic with that kind of. Oops. So on click goes on recording click. Actually, maybe it's alright. Maybe I've misspoken. It's called a toggle button. Oh, okay. That's the toggle button is the component itself, so that makes sense. So when it does the recording click, it checks its own status. One issue with this record button is that it uses its own system for maintaining the recorder state, so that's why it's always out of sync with everything else. Something I might have to rewrite. Let me add that to here. That is those code notes I'm keeping. Record, or let's say the JSX session controls implement their own version of Unisys recorder state by intercepting system messages. This has this. Therefore, logic changes in Unisys recorder aren't mirrored by the teacher app and student app. interfaces. And the recorder functionality may get out of sync. Yep. So anyway, so we're looking here and on recording click. That's that. So we're going to say the same thing. Stop recording. Here. What is that? On recording, stop recording is 2N. Alright, so this would go here. Ah, crap. Here. This is stop recording. Stop recording, button press R press. Yeah. Stop session. So stop recording. It broadcasts a stop session and it broadcasts a request student plot. So who implements this? Implemented by who? So we'll search the modules here, because I really don't know who's implementing that. So find in folder. The message is called stop session. I'm hoping it's only one. And these are other apps. Oh, it's actually particles student and particles teacher and particles. Alright, I've already forgotten what all of those are, so I'm going to copy. Just so these are the three main things that are happening. And I'm going to put that in there. And just so I can edit it here. So we have particle student. GameRun.js. We have particles teacher. GameRun.js. And then we have particles, default particles.js. These all implement this. So here, particle student GameRun.js. Particles teacher. We need to find out what all of these things are doing. And this last one is default particles. That also does all this other stuff. So what is particle student GameRun.js doing? Particle student GameRun.js is doing this save canvas. What is this crap? Oh, is this another JSX file? I guess. Oh, this is using. That's unexpected. Let's Let's move these find results up here. Can I go 3 columns? View, layout, rows 3. Ooh. I'm all about that. So let's move these files down here. And let's move we'll keep the find up there. How come I lost the, there it is. Find results. Let me close these. I'll just reopen them as we need them. We do need default particles, don't need that. They do need this eventually. Finished looking at that, we've finished looking at that. Close this for now. Close this for now, I don't know what this is. This is really old stuff. I guess this is notes that can go down here for a while. That's a lot of stuff. Start creating RTC peer connection, stop session. These are my notes. Yeah. Usually I don't have this type of grid view, but I'm just trying to keep everything on one screen here so I can talk about it. Let's shrink this down a bit. I'm not really using this side yet. I think it's collapsed this. I think it's not. In fact, we're not really using it, so we'll just do this for now. Okay, oh, that's weird. It's broke. That's not working right. So anyway, find for a game run. These are the find results here. And I was just looking at stop session and not bsim. We want this out of particles here, save canvas. Okay, so down here, when we do, oh, this is the wrong one. The dev diary. What does this do? What does that do? It does what called save canvas. And what does it do? This is not documented at all. Store state, store get state. So it gets the Redux store, and it gets this flag whether or not the student was drawing the overlay. It gets the drawing board canvas, converts it to a Pong file, creates a payload with all the necessary recording data, and then calls server save images. So, well, it's save canvas, but actually, I guess it is to save the drawing board canvas, if there is one. If there's one, using server save image, which is implemented in. We're not going to follow that one down because that's unrelated to the actual recording process. The next call is particle teacher game run JS, which is where? Which is here. And it looks like unisys or stop session calls get session list. What's that? This is, let's see. Oh, this one actually uses unisys recorder. Called get session list, which it's tricky code. So sessions is equal to the sorted sessions. I actually don't know what this does. So sort. Is this the associative array? No, that's an arrow function. So the sort takes a function a, b, and it returns positive if the start of b is before or it's later than the start of a. So it's like that's just the sorting function. So it sorts the sessions list. Sessions is an array of something. I didn't know you could do this. So get session list fires a callback. I thought you always had to start these by parentheses, but I guess not. So calls Unisys recorder. This is an async function that I wrote. This is someone using the async function gets it, which returns a data packet, a sessions object, and calling set the this is the redux action. Set session list, which will update the rest of the UI. And then the last one, implemented by default particles.js. This probably is more interesting. Stop session. Well, stop session. Now, what does that do? Find stop session. Strange. How come I couldn't find it? Did I spell it wrong? Oh, it's M. This is my own. And it calls Unisys record, which just calls Unisys recorder record stop. And that's really the call of interest here. And this broadcasts request student plot. I'm just curious who uses this. Request student plot. Let's do the same thing. Find in folder. Request student plot. How many are there? B's, we can skip particle student. Just particle student. So we're looking at call on request student plot. What does this do? Oops, I lost myself. Request. Sorry, file. So it calls on request student plot, which checks to see if a plot made what is this defined image click? Plottable helper. This is also calling server save image. I'm not sure what this is doing. I don't know what this plot thing does. It's creating a data URI. Is server save image being overloaded to save regular any files? It looks like it. If a plot made plotted, so I'm going to say if plotted, then save the plot data depending. I gotta make a note of this. So online particle student on request student plot. And particle student game run game dash run. Seems to save. Where's payload? Data, where is image click? That is not save non-image data to a service called server save image. I wonder if that should be renamed to server save file. Depending. A little fishy. And also then it on successful save broadcast register student plot the data with the plot info or the plot metadata. This register student plot must update the UI. And so who's update UIs? All right. So that's just that. Now I need to actually follow on with this. This is the critical path one. And what happens here? We need to go to Unisys recorder, record stop. So that's Unisys recorder, record stop. And then this send this is Unisys. Record stop. What does this do? Sends recorder command record stop to Unisys or step Unisys. To Unisys. That. So then what happens here is in step Unisys dispatcher. See if I have that right. So it's API dispatcher. Yep. Dispatch. Recorder command. Record stop. So this is step unisys. This is do record stop, I think. Which does what? Do record stop. This gets a packet, socket. There's a series of calls. Recorder, clear, message, filters. Tells, recorder tells recorder stop recording. Emit event, record stop. Emit system event. Return packet to callee. Unisys recorder does do a call, right? Network send. That's something I should fix. Unisys call. Oh wait, this isn't Unisys. Oh wait, this is weird. Why am I doing it this way? Oh, because this is the packet interface. Right, so we are sending a message named recorder command. So this is why we had to manually create the packet and send it. Okay. That's a little bit, I should extend Unisys for that. Extend Unisys so things like so new as code like public incomplete doesn't supersede the regular Unisys call or broadcast. Methods. Is there really a reason for this? Where was I? The callee in this case was, we're going to use this recorder. Oh, the callee in Unisys recorder. Record stop. Unisys recorder, record stop. Yeah. And that it works at all is pretty cool. So this is implementing all this network asynchronous stuff. I want to re-implement it using promises. So that would be streamlined. Let's see. Oh, we lost the playback. What is this doing? Working. All right. So, do I have? Is that the complete transaction? I think so. This is just start and stop recording. Stop recording. Button press. I have a headache again. Start. Oh boy. So what did I just do? I outlined a whole bunch of crap. So we can go back to here. And let me get a piece of paper. Actually, I'm really tired again. Maybe I should do this when I'm fresher. So I started at 11, it's now 11:30 p.m. This is like the outline record stop. And now I'm going to try to push myself to break this down a bit. And instead of actually... Why is that so fucking loud? Okay, so instead of doing that on the screen, which I'm sick of looking at, I am going to do this on... I'm going to do this on a piece of paper. So I'll be right back. A piece of paper. And unfortunately, I don't have a screen plus aux view. I'm going to have to fix that. How come I don't have that? I've got this view. I've got this view. I should, maybe since I never use this view, I should turn that into screen plus aux, but maybe it's just too small. We'll just use this view then. That's the aux view. Well, we'll just switch back and forth between that. Alright, so let me move this camera over here. So what I want to do is... Second, sorry. See if this is properly over. Okay. So on this piece of paper, I want to transcribe the stuff from this screen. And what is am I exactly transcribing? I'm trying to like develop a simplified version of what all this stuff is. And so let's take a look at this. So let me make this part bigger. So someone popped in the chat room. Hey, I'm doing a refactoring some code, and there's like 13 different parts to it. So I'm trying to get this all straight in my head. This is like super boring. So this will be good for putting in the background if you are working on something yourself and don't have to watch the screen. That's kind of what these virtual co-working sessions are about. Anyway, so I am going to look at this. So what do we have here? We have the teacher app, we have the record button, which does recording, click and start recording, and it has a bunch of broadcast stuff. So let's try just drawing. How does this work? Let me keep talking through this. So this message gets, the start session gets broadcast to the network. particle game handles this. Starts, and which calls record start. So each module tends to handle different things. So here with the record button, the record button is not expecting a response. All it does is essentially either cause Unisys record start, or it cause I'm missing something here, or it cause record stop. What was all this BS? Oh, okay, this is like that. This is just other stuff. Let's change the order of this so it's clear. More superfluous, more stuff that happens on in stop recording. Alright, so let's see if we can break this down at the modular level. So there is the UI. Let's call this, just call this record button. Let me switch over to aux view. So we have a record button. And this basically does two things. It will send, it eventually calls Unisys recorder. I can't type, or I can't even read that. Unisys dot recorder, which is either start session or stop session. Is that right? Oh, it uses broadcast too, which is start session or stop session. I think one problem with this code is that there's like 3 different coding styles here. It's 3 different people you implemented this. Me and the other 2 guys. So the conventions are a little bit different in each one. They're all like kind of custom fit together. So so basically this is receiving. It's sending dispatches and then it's receiving messages and updating the UI that way. So then let's go to the Unisys recorder level. Looks like my cousins want to play a game, but I think they can play together. The Unisys recorder level. What do we got going on here? Oh wait. These gets invoked by other calls. So in this case, Unisys recorder is received by whoever is receiving start session. And there's only particles. Particles. This is handled by particles. Only. But then for stop session, there's actually more of them. In stop session, we get broadcast stop NC, stop session, record stop. Where is this? This is a record button. On recording, click stop recording. Wait a moment. In this case, it's handling it itself. It's not waiting for the stop session message to happen. This is handled in, I guess technically the event is handled, it's not handled cleanly, it's handled by a record button. But also particle student, which saves its data, saves its work. Particles teacher, which calls session list. And updates its list view of all the sessions. Join the multiplayer until afterwards, I think. Then also particle student, particles teacher, and the last one is default particles. Actually, I forgot to see what was in there. Default particles, stop session, did I? Oh, it just calls. No, that's weird. Why is this calling this twice? Is that happening twice? Calls recorder stop session. Oh, record stop. Yeah. Now let's make sure that's not happening twice. In the record button code. Close it. Record button. According to this, in the record button, calls do record stop, which is the same thing. So it calls it twice. Calls record stop default. So that's a bug, I think. Or it could be a possible error. Record button, JSX, and default particles. JS both invoke Unisys recorder. Record stop. I'm guessing record button probably shouldn't do it, but let's take a look at what the record button is actually doing. If it's stopping the recording, alright, stop session. Okay, the button's not doing it. So where is this? What did why did I write that it was? Record stop. This is called by stop recording. Oh, okay, this is all within inside record stop. Oh, this just broadcasts it. All right, so that's actually okay. It just broadcasts the stop session, and it triggers off a bunch of stuff. And the 3 places. But where's the other stuff I was saying it did? Oh, broadcast this. Stop session is received by particles multiple apps. The stop session event is usually received, handled. Okay, so this is alright. This is not doesn't call it. It just emits it. Okay, that gets going. So particle student default particle. So okay, there's no duplicate. Just terrible conventions. Anyways, so that's at the Unisys recorder level. So what's beneath the Unisys recorder level now? The Unisys recorder level. This is talking to. Let's look at Unisys recorder. Generally, it's just sending packets. Sends recorder commands to server, receives recorder status updates. So step recorder. Is it step recorder or step Unisys? Step Unisys dispatches those commands and directs them to step recorder, I think. Let's just confirm that. So step Unisys basically just handles the messaging part. So step Unisys calls methods on recorder and returns result to calling app. That reminds me, for Unisys broadcasts, define what a return packet means. It should only really be used for calls. Unisys calls, I think. So then in recorder, step recorder, this is so tedious. losing my focus again. And step recorder, which is here. That's the messages. This implements things that emit their own things. So step recorder implements the recorder API, which also updates to instances of Unisys recorder. From which the UI can update itself. Unfortunately, this is happening in more than one place. So what have we learned? There is a logic to this. It's just difficult to discern. Why is it so difficult? I think it's difficult because these events aren't really classified. So broadcast should be used only for system events, so maybe it should be called something else. I should set up that split screen view. Let me make a note of that. No, not here. Let me do it in my accountability board. Let's add this edit. I'll share this stuff over here. So this is the co-working chat room, and I want to make a note so I don't forget this. 1.5 billables part 2. Don't find it to do any of that stuff. This is what? I already forgot what I was going to type. I was distracted by all this crap. What was I doing again? Usually back up the... Fortunately, I'm streaming this, so I can actually just back up and see what I was saying. Alright. I forgot to switch the screen. So I'm listening now to the stream to see what I said. Sends updates to what? This is a Unisys recorder. What did I want to make a note of not to forget? What was I trying to do? This is the part where I... Can't remember what I was doing. What is difficult to discern? Update itself. I don't remember. Oh well. I was listening. I think maybe it had something to do with fixing broadcast. That does make sense. Oh well. I'm just gonna forget. I'll just forget about that. That's annoying. This means I'm probably getting to the end of this, like, tracking all these tedious things and trying to keep them in my head all day. Keeping my head long enough to see some clarity is what's difficult. So what time is it now? It's like 12. It's midnight. I think I might just call this a night now. It's like, so where am I now? What's the next thing I can do? So I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Yeah, I'm spent. I can't keep two thoughts in my head together. But before I finish this off, I need to write what I should do tomorrow. What is the next step for August 30? Well, let me just talk this out. I've outlined just the button recording stuff, but there's the whole video recording stuff too. That's a whole nother subsystem. Ugh. So one, rewrite the start, stop, recording, button press stuff into something that is easier to see the levels of. And then we want to, what? So what do I gain an advantage of looking at it like this? Well, I get a sense like you're aware it's kind of screwy. What should happen is like the record button JSX should just emit events. Start recording, or start, was it start session? Start session, stop session. And stop session. It shouldn't really do any changes on things. And have a callback strategy. And then, what's the next level? Unisys recorder. It should pull Unisys recorder for its status. It shouldn't use its own status. Unisys, there's a separation. Can Unisys, both on client and server, be better separated by from recorder, or at least made to mirror better? Actually, now that I have this, the only messages that are flying between things, okay, differentiate between the different messages in use and who uses them. I just blew into the microphone. Maybe that's what I was trying to put in the do. So this means there are system messages, there are app-wide events, like start session. Stop session. There are recorder or Unisys recorder commands. Are sent from Unisys recorder. Are sent from Unisys recorder to step and processed through step recorder. There are Unisys recorder status updates received from step recorder via step Unisys and received by Unisys recorder. It's a whole separate set of events. What is the other kind of event that happens? I think that's it. Then there's like just system services that happen. Then there's a whole what's it? There's the step vidserve which you even haven't looked at. Step messaging is based on a different standard using dedicated sockets. So that needs to be outlined. The video server status also needs to be aggregated into something like step recorder. Step, or not step recorder, and Unisys recorder. From the client perspective, from the client side, unfortunately, no, I'm not sharing the right screen again. Unfortunately, the step recorder uses Unisys, and step vidserve uses sockets. It's a different code base. From the client side, everything is Unisys and handled by Unisys recorder, video, and session data. So I think that's actually helpful to know. So I think the first thing to do tomorrow, review functions in Unisys recorder and step recorder and see if they mirror. Second, look at step unisys and see if its separation from step recorder is necessary. It might be nice to just throw that all in there. So those are the two things, I think. All right. Here's some possibilities. All right, so I think that's it for now. It's as much as I can stand to look at this code anymore. It is what? It's 12:10, but I'm just gonna say it's 12, and I'll build out those hours. So this is review, record, pattern. So all right. Okay, well that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks for watching. I know this was super boring, so don't watch this unless you're not watching it. Put it in the background or something where like the boring sounds of someone working will inspire you to work on something far more interesting. And with that, I bid you a good night. Slate. It didn't work. Slate, there. Just wait for that to cool off. This weird, just wrapped all the way around.